Welcome back to LA Living, everybody. I am your host and local realtor, Matt Alamina. I hope you guys are doing great today. Today's video is going to be quite a bit different from the shorts I normally post up that highlight different parts of Los Angeles for you to visit and enjoy. This one's more regarding the real estate market because I feel that if you're a buyer or a seller within the next 6 months, it's extremely important that you see this. So I have some notes that I'm going to address because, again, if you are that buyer or seller, you're gonna want to make sure that you really pick up everything that I got to say. So right now, as far as the market goes, interest rates are in the low to mid sixes, which are keeping a lot of people on the sidelines. And if this seems familiar, then it's no surprise there because people have been sitting on the sidelines since last June when inflation hit over 9% and interest rates were close to 8%. So people are still sitting on the sidelines right now. And there is thought to be some action that's going to be happening at the Fed over the next 8 to 9 weeks. Now, we have a Fed meeting that's going to be happening in early May where it's expected that Jerome Powell is going to raise interest rates by another 25 basis points. Now, this I don't think is going to do a whole lot to the mortgage loans because that's already kind of been baked in already. So the reason why interest rates are the way they are now is because we're already expecting this to happen. Now, something different can happen. It's a smaller chance, but if it does, you're definitely going to want to be ready for it. And that is if Jerome Powell chooses not to actually make any kind of rate hike at all, just to pivot for the first time in over a year. Now, if this happens, interest rates for homes are going to start dropping like crazy. People are they're going to lock in their rates and they're going to go out home shopping for the first time in 9 or 10 months. Now, this is great because you can now afford more, right? You have more buying power with those lower interest rates. The one thing you want to consider when this happens is that everybody that's been waiting on the sidelines since last year is going to be trying to buy all these homes at the same time, and there is going to be more demand than supply. So naturally, this is going to drive up the prices of the homes, and there's a good chance that you'll be in a bidding war for one. And if this happens, there's a good chance that you could actually end up paying more for the home then with the lower interest rates than you do now when there's less competition, but interest rates are just a little bit higher. So that is one thing to consider if the Fed decides to pivot. Again, we don't think that's going to happen yet, but there is a chance, so you want to be ready. Now, what's more likely to happen in mid-June is that there's going to be another Fed meeting where it's more likely that is the point where the Fed is going to pivot. Now, let's say that the Fed pivots in May, then there's a good chance that in June, well, I don't want to say good chance, but there's a possibility that we could actually see some rate decreases. Now, I just told you how it's going to be if, we just pivot without those rate decreases. Imagine what's going to happen if there is an actual rate decrease. Things are going to go nuts. And again, you're going to see those buyers flooding out to the market, bidding on homes, and again, probably paying more than they would have if they bought right now. So this brings up a couple perspectives depending on if you're a buyer or a seller. Now, if you're a buyer, I would consider possibly buying now if you could find a house that you love. You might be paying a little bit more than you expect to because you're waiting for those lower interest rates, but you also have to consider how much more your initial offer is going to have to be to get that same home if you wait anywhere between 3 to 8 or 9 weeks. It could be pretty substantial. So that's one thing to consider. Just keep your eyes open for that home. If you haven't found the home, don't worry about it. Just wait until you find it. Now, if you're a seller, this is where things are going to get really good for you. Now, if you could hold off on selling till, late May to mid-June, then I feel like you're going to benefit the most out of it because you're going to have that flood of buyers all trying to get that home of yours. And I promise you, you'll probably get higher offers than you would now. That being said, if you're not in a position to wait, then, go ahead and get out there. There are still buyers out there. Let's remember that there are still more buyers today than there were last month, that there were last year. And people are just finally starting to accept the fact that we're probably not going to see interest rates in the 3s or 4s for a long, long time. So if you're a seller out there, then you have something to look forward to over the coming summer. Now, one more kind of buyer I want to bring up is a cash buyer. Now, if you're a cash buyer, now is the time to buy because of those reasons I mentioned. Once those interest rates get lower and that flood of buyers comes in, you are now going to have to make those much higher cash offers, and you won't be able to necessarily use that cash leverage in your favor all that much. And it's going to be because a lot of people just want the highest offer possible, not necessarily having to be cash. And so if you are a cash buyer, it's a great time to start looking now to find a home that you love and start putting in those offers, because chances are if you wait another 3 to 6 weeks, you're gonna have to make substantially larger offers anyways. So guys, that's kind of just a breakdown of what we can expect in the market for the next couple months. If you guys have a different view on it of what might happen, I mean, do you think there's gonna be a huge banking crash more so than what's already happened? Do you think that there's going to be some kind of lagging effect where the recession hasn't even really started yet, even though we're technically in a recession? Give me your thoughts. I'd love to hear it. I'm kind of giving you my thoughts based on the data and based on the fact that we have been bringing inflation down month over month for the last 7 months or so. But yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. If you guys are in the market and you're looking to buy or sell, I would love to chat with you about it. Feel free to reach out to me. The links are in the video below in the description. But yeah, guys, that's it for today. Thanks for sticking around. I know it's a little bit longer of a video, but again, if you're watching, it's probably because you're considering buying over the next 6 months. So again, I appreciate you hanging out with me for these few minutes. Please remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.